Good morning, and happy 4th of July. This is the time that we would like to welcome anyone who are newcomers. If you're here for the first time, would you please stand and tell us your name and where you're from so that we can greet you? Yes.
My name's Logan. I'm from Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene, wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else? We're all family here, and thank you. There is a packet of information in the lobby if you would like to pick it up and take it home with you. We have a vision and a mission statement, and we like to read those in unison. We envision a world joyfully transformed through spiritual awakening, and our mission statement. Our mission is to demonstrate spiritual principles, inspire personal growth, and share love and joy. And we have quite a few announcements this morning. You may help yourself to a flyer that's out in the lobby, which lists the upcoming events. If you would like to be on our Spotlight mailing list, there's a card out there that you can fill out, or you can call Candy in the office, and she'll put you on the list. Join us downstairs for fellowship in our fellowship garden today. We're having an ice cream social. Woohoo! Ice cream for breakfast. If you can give some time on Sunday to help with fellowship, please contact Valerie or let the office know. Our bookstore is now open. So as you go downstairs, please say hello to Laura Hill, our new bookstore manager. While Richard's on vacation this month, we're pleased to welcome guest speakers. And next week is going to be Reverend Billy Martini, and she'll talk on deepest acceptance. On the 18th, it's Tom Zender, and his topic is Be Great by Choice. And on the 25th, our own Lark Zunich and the Unity Players are going to do Reaching the 5 Principles. July 1st, this first Sunday in July, is our birthday and anniversary celebrations. So if you have a July birthday, would you stand and we can sing happy birthday to you? Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Purple. Happy birthday to you. And is anyone having an anniversary this month? No. A wedding anniversary. Okay, we'll skip that one. So today we are delighted to welcome our own Lark Zunich. Lark earned her Master's of Divinity from Princeton Theological Seminary and was ordained as a Presbyterian minister in 1985. As a specialized ministry, she spent 20 years as a teacher and professor in urban schools in Long Beach, California. She was recently accepted into Unity's Urban Ministerial School and will begin classes this fall toward becoming a Unity minister. Yay! Now, if you would please join me in singing. What are we singing? Surely the Presence. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty
We're going to enter into a time of meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes or stare at a spot and to be breathing in and out to bring yourself to this present moment, right here, right now. Jesus said, aligned with the One are those whose lives radiate from a core of love. They shall see God everywhere. Great and wonderful Spirit, you are the one power and one presence, the source and supply of all that is. Infinite love flows to all spiritual beings from the unlimited source of the divine. We unite in spirit and know that we are one in God. We are all the love of God, the wholeness of God, strength of God. We are one in God. And now we move from the fear of the unknown to the faith of the possibility. We welcome you in as our guide and guardian into the field of infinite possibilities. We allow your loving presence all the way in and dwell in the oneness of our God. We breathe in gratitude and thanksgiving for knowing the presence of God within. We breathe in gratitude and thanksgiving for living the love of God. We release our prayers into divine mind, knowing it is already done, and we are the beloved. Amen.
All my love can't save this world. I'm just one man. With all of the greed that holds us down, I can't understand how we just sit down and let the time slip by. I must ask my brothers and my sisters why. You are the light, the love that shines so bright. You are the fire that burns through the darkest night. Don't let the world drag you down. Turn a smile from a frown. Lift your head up to the clouds and see. We all came here to be is free. Free. Oh, free. What's your purpose in this place? Why are you here? And what are you doing with the moments we hold so dear? If you need to walk away and start again, if you need to leave some things behind and bring them to an end, 'cause you are the light, the love that shines so bright, and you are the fire that burns through the darkest night. Don't let the world drag you down, turn a smile from a frown. Lift your head up to the clouds and see what we all came here to be is free. Free. Once you make up your mind, take it one step at a time. Leave your worries behind and see that you are free. And you are the light, the love that shines so bright. And you are the fire that burns through the darkest night. Don't let the world drag you down, turn a smile from a frown. Lift your head up to the clouds and see what we all came here to be is free. Free. Free, oh free.
Thank you so much.
So that's one of my favorite songs that Dan sings. And music is really important to me because I'm one of those people who is much more comfortable with intellectual pursuits, like reading books, contemplating ideas, and talking about concepts. For me to go beyond the perceiving and to perceive a spiritual truth and actually feeling it and knowing it, getting it, I need something that can bypass my constantly working, analyzing brain and to bypass my ego thinking and hit me right in the heart. And that's when I know a spiritual truth, a spiritual message. And that song does it for me because it's an overcoming song. It's meant to pull us from whatever that is that's holding us down or keeping us back. That means turning away from this world of appearances and making new choices to move into a more spiritual way of being. When I heard Dan sing this song last month, it got me wondering, when do I let myself get blocked or pulled away from my spiritual path? And how do I know and feel that wonderful, floaty feeling of freedom in my life? And it occurred to me that when I'm feeling burdened or stuck, or I behave as if my path is set in stone and I don't have any options, it's then when I feel separated from God. When I feel separate from God and separate from others, there's a definite lack of freedom. But that's just a perception. We are never and can never be separate from the divine. It just feels like there is separation or a blank space. To move off that perception, that feeling, I have to make a choice to move toward spiritual truth. I know my spirit is free to explore, uplift, and be at peace when I am living oneness with God. But even entering into the oneness with the divine is a choice. It requires action. In Dan's song, he sang the chorus, "You are the light, the love that shines so bright. You are the fire that burns through the darkest night. Don't let the world drag you down. Turn a smile from a frown. Lift up your head to the clouds and see what we all came here to be is free." And while Dan's voice is floating around in the stratosphere, it bypasses my brain. And my heart has time to live in that space. My heart actually exists in the freedom that is ours because we are spiritual beings and one with the presence and power of the divine. When I'm in that space, I know we are light and we are love. Each person has a part to play right here and right now as spiritual expressors, expressing. When I can perceive and know in my heart and live out my spiritual truth, I do think it sets my mind and heart free. I can soar, knowing that I am in the flow of spirit. We can all be in that divine flow, living our freedom, and it all starts with the fundamental spiritual truth that we are all one with divine spirit. The tough part is taking that oneness, that awareness of spiritual presence into our daily lives when we leave the sanctuary. Since entering the oneness is a choice we make each day, I have to find ways to remind myself in that spiritual truth. For example, when I'm given one of those forms to fill out at the doctor's office, or any form where they're collating demographic data like your age and your gender, there's always a box for race. And it comes with multiple options, including mixed race. But I usually check the box that says other. And then I get to write in that little line that's next to other the word human. I know that this completely messes with their demographic research. But that is the spiritual reality. We are all one. It is a spiritual reality that we must affirm each day and make it part of our everyday experience. Make the choice to take oneness seriously. When I choose this perspective from which to view all the people around me, it changes the way I see and interact with other people. It's sort of like looking at one of those pictures taken from space of the Earth, and the Earth looks like just a big blue-green ball with white stuff floating around it. It's then that I realize we are one planet. We are one people. While Richard did his talks last month from the book by Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements, he reminded us how difficult it is to see our oneness and to believe in oneness and to live as if we are one when someone is disagreeing with you. But there is a way through disagreements to continue to live our spiritual principles. Way back when I went to seminary the first time, before we even began our classes, there was a first principle, sort of like a prime directive, they taught us so that we could be successful. And this first principle or prime directive was necessary because all the students were preparing to be employed in church settings and working with faith-filled, well-meaning individuals who were going to have a different opinion on how to do almost everything. So our first lesson was this truth: people of good character may differ. People of good character may differ. What we were supposed to keep in mind was the good character part so that we could be respectful and sensitive in our negotiations when dealing with the differences. But this first lesson wasn't news to me. I had a unique opportunity to learn this lesson early on in my own home. I grew up in a household where my dad was a dedicated Republican and my mom was a strong Democrat. Around the dinner table, my siblings and I discovered that there was always more than one way to approach a need or a challenge. To any issue, there were multiple sides to consider. It was not either or, right, left, black or white. We examined the wholeness of an issue and appreciated the complexity of the multiple factors in play. Now, when you put 6 intelligent, opinionated, articulate individuals around the dinner table for a discussion, that is just dinner and a show right there. In our family dynamics, Dad and I tend to get loud when we're excited and speak in passionately raised voices, or what my mother likes to call shouting. It did seem like the person who talked the loudest and the fastest got heard. And no one can talk faster than my sister Jana. But she also is hilariously funny, so she was our comic relief. And if we heard a divergent opinion from one that we held ourselves, we were all capable of the tisk, eye roll, huffy breath maneuver. And if you've ever raised a teenager, you will recognize this. All right? My brother Jay didn't chime in often, but when he did, it was with a profound, mind-bending boom that would make everyone stop and think. His comments usually redirected the entire conversation. They were truly sort of a mic drop worthy moment. Admittedly, we were all sometimes better at talking than listening. My eldest sister Leanne's first response to everything was, "No, you're wrong." But she is a thoughtful person, and she would reconsider and come back and ask some pertinent questions and engage in a more constructive conversation. Occasionally, we did have to apologize to each other for unkind remarks or getting carried away expressing our fallible opinions. But we were a family, and therefore we had a common goal or direction. We just didn't agree on which path to take to get there. But it didn't stop us from knowing that we were one unit. We were family. We were loved. As part of my family, I was not going to get kicked out or fired or ridiculed for my ideas. There was freedom in the assurance that we were always loved. Love is the essential key to living freely with the ability to express who Spirit guides you to be. In all family discussions, I was reminded that we were talking about issues that affected real people who had families, hopes, dreams, and feelings just like I did. These were folks who were worthy of and deserved love. That is as true today as it was then. All topics that we deal with today are complex and require thinking beyond even shades of gray. There could be a purple or an orange idea to consider. There's even an entire field of study devoted to this method of problem solving called lateral thinking. This method is exactly what it sounds like. Lateral thinking is to take what you believe or think you know is true and turn it on its head or come at it sideways and find a new, undiscovered possibility. The best example I can show you of lateral thinking is from an ancient folktale. Once there was a man who owned a great deal of money to his landlord. The landlord knew the man could not pay the debt and feared debtor's prison. The landlord offered him a way out. "You have a beautiful daughter," said the landlord. If your daughter will marry me, I will forgive your debt." And the man would not sacrifice his daughter. The landlord came to the man and his daughter with the same offer several times, and each time he was rejected. Finally, the landlord approached the man and his daughter with a new idea. "We will go to the center of the marketplace where there are many witnesses. I will pick up from the ground 2 pebbles, one white and one black, to place into this leather pouch. Your daughter will reach into the pouch and pull out a pebble. If she pulls out the white pebble, I will forgive your debt, and your daughter is free to marry any man she likes. If, however, she pulls out the black pebble, she will marry me, and I will forgive your debt." The man did not want to put his daughter in this position, but she knew the strain of her father of trying to pay back the debt and the real possibility of debtor's prison. She agreed to the bargain. Then the three of them went to the center of the marketplace. Many people gathered around to see which pebble she would pull from the leather pouch. The landlord bent down and picked up pebbles from the ground. When the landlord turned his back to place the pebbles into the leather pouch, the daughter saw that he had placed only 2 black pebbles into the pouch. He held the pouch out for her to select a pebble. The daughter was dismayed. What should she do? In front of all the witnesses in the marketplace, should she point out that the landlord was being dishonest, that he was cheating? He would be humiliated and probably call for her father's debt immediately. If she refused to pull a pebble out of the bag, the landlord could still demand for the debt to be repaid immediately or place her father in debtor's prison. What would you do in her place? Now, this is the interactive part. I'm serious. I want you to turn to your neighbor and tell them, what would you do in her place? Okay, I overheard some interesting ideas, some lateral thinking. My favorite was the answer, run. But let's find out what she really did. The daughter thought quickly and created a plan. In the marketplace, in front of all the witnesses, she placed her hand into the leather pouch and pulled out a pebble. But before she could turn her hand over to show the color of the pebble, she fumbled and dropped the pebble, and it fell into all the pebbles in the walkway. "Oh my," she said, looking down at all the pebbles on the ground. Then she turned to the landlord and said, "But it doesn't matter. You can just show everyone the color of the pebble left in the leather pouch, and we will know the color of the pebble I pulled." The landlord looked around at all the people who were waiting to discover the daughter's fate. He took out the other black pebble from his leather pouch and showed it to the witnesses. To save his honor, the landlord kept his word and forgave the father's debt. A little lateral thinking, coming up with the unexpected alternative, can solve many a problem. Around the dinner table, I learned the importance of not just listening, but hearing another's point of view on a subject. We did a lot of problem solving in creative ways. A new perspective can sometimes lead to new choices. From my family experience, I've always known it is possible to respect and admire folks who approach the world differently than I do. That does not mean that I have given up my way of expressing myself loudly and passionately, and my mother still reminds me I'm shouting. This also means that I end up, from time to time, apologizing for my passionate outbursts, but not necessarily for the content or the point I was trying to make. Also, around that dinner table in my family, I felt the emotional safety that allowed me to express ideas, explore ideas, change my mind, and reach for something better. This was all possible because I knew that I was loved. To really work together as a team of faith-filled, well-meaning folks, we need to extend love to one another. We need to hold each other in love and consider each person as part of our spiritual family, no matter how annoying you might find them to be. When you're family, you're accepted and loved just the way you are. When you look at folks with love, it is amazing how soft your heart can be toward them. Love seems to be key for feeling and experiencing oneness, though sometimes it seems to work the other way around. When I'm centered in meditation and really dwelling in the oneness of the divine, my heart explodes with love. It is as if once I am sure of my oneness with the divine and expand my thinking and feeling to the oneness of all spiritual beings, it feels like my love bubble radiates from into infinite space. Of course, then I have to leave my meditation space and walk into the world or drive in my car. And my love bubble gets pushed and squeezed and battered a bit. I don't always find folks who are interested in playing well with others. And remembering that we are all one is challenged in the midst of some very unloving behavior. So no matter what it looks like from my senses, I must come back to the belief and maintain the truth and the assurance that we are one. It is a choice to see those around me as part of the oneness. I can always choose my behavior, and I can choose to be loving or not. According to Science of Mind practitioner Linda Potter, ultimately, only we get to choose how to express our freedom. We are always free to make decisions that empower us, but we are also equally free to embrace choices that do not serve us. That is what free will is all about. We get to choose how to behave from moment to moment. We can say, no, you're wrong, and walk away. And we can turn around, change our mind, and go back with a more loving response. Linda Potter also said, when we intend wholeness and align with spirit, we liberate ourselves from painful missteps and lay the foundation for a richer, more satisfying life. That means it's up to you and to me to consciously decide how to respond, how to live in oneness with divine spirit. The spiritual reality that we are one with God, that we are the light of God, and we are the love of God is here. Denise Rosier is a musician who has been featured on our YouTube Sunday morning talks during the pandemic. I met Denise in my California church as she was beginning her journey from transitioning from a country singer to writing and singing and performing music about new thought principles. One of her powerful songs is called We Are. I've taken the lyrics and simplified them just to get to the basic message. You can find this song and listen to it on her website. When I first started going to the New Thought Church, Living Beyond Limits, this was one of our community songs for worship. I bought Denise's CD, which tells you how long ago it was. You could actually buy a CD. And then I would put the song on repeat in my car and sing it all the way to work. We are one. We are all one in God. We are love. We are all the love of God. We are whole. We are the wholeness of God. We are strength. We are all the strength of God. We are made. We are all made of God. We are one. We are all one in God. I got to tell you, I treated people very differently when my mind was set on the intention, we are all one in God. I found myself more loving, more generous, more open to listening, and more willing to give each person my full attention. It enhanced my work relationships, 100% improved my interaction with my college students. Centering our attention on being one with God and being the love of God frees us from dogma or entrenchment and allows for the flow of synergy, which lifts everyone up together. Love is the key to knowing and feeling oneness. And dwelling in oneness is the key to being filled with divine love. But living oneness and living love is still a choice. We have to choose to live our freedom and soar. I hope you choose that. Thank you. I'm going to see you all in a couple of weeks with the Unity Players, but until then, be the light and love in the world. Don't let the world get you down. Lift your head up to the clouds and see what we were all came here to be is free.
Thank you, Lark. This is our sacred time of giving. We are grateful as we celebrate every manifestation of prosperity that you have offered us this year. We affirm that God is our source And we are blessed as we envision prosperity flowing to and through us. So I invite you to take in your hand that which you would share with us today and join me with the blessing on the screen. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And this is the time when we normally call our prayer team up to be up here and prayer individually with you. We're still not doing that. So we have a little card here. If you need some individual prayer, please put it on this card, and there's a box in the back in the lobby where you can place it, and we'll hold you in prayer this week. So let's stand and let's thank Lark for being here. Let's thank our musicians, Glenna, Chris, and Dan. Dave and Rebecca in the back, thank you. And the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yea, God!